going on there, guys? We're back with another one. We got to talk about Jay Williams, James Harden a little bit today now. Jay Williams was talking about the contract negotiations and everything with James Harden and pretty much saying the market isn't like what James Harden thought it would be, and teams aren't just clamoring over him like they were a few free agencies ago. And, you know, he's looked at as a regular season scorer that is ball dominant, and people starting to realize some of James Harden's production was inflated at his prime. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't saying he's a bad scorer, but when you have those players that have to have the ball like that, just putting them with more talent doesn't work because they don't do the other things it takes to win. Their shining skill is having the ball all the time, making all the plays, shooting at will. But the issue comes with First Take saying that Jay Williams said he should feel disrespected by the Sixers about the contract negotiations, and Jay Williams saying, I never said that. He said he should feel disrespected by the marketplace and what it dictated. And Jay Williams just said this on Patrick Beverly podcast like a month ago. ESPN, everything having to be a hot take. He said sometimes it can just be good analysis based off what I see. And he didn't appreciate First Take taking this quote on their show yesterday and saying Jay Williams was saying that it was specific to the organization. Let's check it out.
I would tell you that I don't think anybody feels sympathy for James Harden. I think everybody recognized how he got himself out of Houston, and ultimately, after understanding the dynamics between the way the relationships were in Brooklyn with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and Joe Tsai and the way that worked out, getting himself to Philadelphia, which is where he truly wanted to be in the first place. Brooklyn was more of a stopgap in that journey. I don't think anybody feels sympathy for him. I think the question is, should he feel disrespected? And my answer would be, you're damn right. He better feel disrespected. Now, you talked about the fact he dropped 2 40-point games. By the way, they don't win those games without James Harden going for 40+. They do not win those games, okay? So, like, I'm not sitting up here saying that he's deserving of a long-term contract. They couldn't find the right middle ground for that. But due to the fact that the market has shrunk on the attention around James Harden, he better feel disrespected. I agree with you. I think he will ultimately end up being with the Philadelphia 76ers because he will have no choice. And he got $35.6 million here to have a season to prove that he is worth that long-term contract, in which he did take $15 million less the year before. But trust and believe, if James Harden doesn't feel disrespected, then I will question James Harden's love for the game of basketball, right? So he has to feel that way in order for a one-and-done, prove-it year to showcase that he is worth the deserving money in order to get that money that he'll have to prove this season.
Should James Harden feel disrespected? You're damn right. Now listen to me and why. Instead of just reading headlines, I didn't say he should be disrespected by the 76ers. He should feel disrespected due to the fact that the marketplace dictated that his value wasn't what the hell he thought it was. We get this. Negotiation 101. I want a long-term deal. If the market dictates my value is high, then all of a sudden I have leverage. If the market does not, then I'm stuck. Now, stuck is an interesting word. You're not really stuck in a situation where you're making $35.6 million. But the disrespect comes into the play because, yeah, that's what the market says. It's a sense of pride for James Harden. So now he has 1 year to prove it, that he's worth the money he thinks he's worth and the years on the value of the contract he thinks he's worth. Nobody is saying that he should feel disrespected by the 76ers. He should feel respected by the 76ers. They just didn't give him the offer that he thought he was deserving of. The marketplace dictated that. But for any hooper out there, for anybody who's competitive, who has pride, you're going to feel a sense of disrespect, but you have an opportunity to change that. Prove it this year. Get it done.
So looky here. First Take, lucky I could screen record that because look, when I click here, it's gone. They deleted that caption with the video because they knew they were clickbaiting. And you could tell Jay Williams is speaking like someone who only has 2 months left on his contract. A month ago, he said he only had 3 months left. He's not necessarily on any one show. He's not going to be the exclusive host with Stephen A. Smith on First Take because they have rotating hosts. So where does Jay Williams go from here? Many think his tenure is going to be up at ESPN, and he's speaking out about it, and using that for headline. But see, the thing is, ESPN First Take, they've always been kind of in the business of clicks and drawing people in to watch the show by any means necessary. So it's like, they not gonna have someone that doesn't want to play that game with them. Stephen A. He's all about the clicks, and he's kind of being like a shock jock. Whereas Jay Williams, JJ Redick, those guys are analysts, and sometimes they go viral because they shooting back at the shock jock. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would classify Kendrick Perkins as more of a shock jock. Sometimes he makes sense with basketball, but some of his takes and his sayings, he's just trying to go viral that way. But I wouldn't classify Jay Williams and JJ Redick as that. They may have a take here or there that's contrary or unpopular, and that may blow up a little bit. But as far as what they bring, they're bringing like straight basketball. You could tell they're a basketball person in basketball. And Kendrick Perkins should be, but I think he just sort of went the shot jock route, and he can appreciate that. But I don't think Jay Williams is. And I think Jay Williams is already mentally going somewhere else as far as what he wants to do in media. And he's just working his contract out at this point. That's how it feels to me. But who knows, man? I think as far as James Harden, I think whatever he gets is still going to be too much. Because I personally don't see him as this valuable player. When he first got to Houston, they did some good things, and they were a game away from beating Golden State. But again, who was awful, and Chris Paul got hurt, obviously. Chris Paul gets hurt often in the playoffs, but James Harden, I just, when he's your first option and the way he plays, just the high usage, always have the ball, always has to be the person that makes the pass to the assist, always, like, it's a lot of stat hunting when he was at his best. I think what we've seen the last few years is what he really is. And you even saw, like, when Joel Embiid didn't play, that first game in Boston, he was comfortable because he had control of the ball all the time. He shot when he wanted to. And they actually won that game, but they couldn't win the series that way because he's up and down like that as far as that goes. It's not that he lost a step and all these other excuses people have, is that his game is just about him always having the ball, him making every play. And that's why the stats were so crazy those few years. And I ain't saying anybody can just get off the street and go do that. Obviously, he has some talent and some skill. There's some skill involved in it, but it's not winning basketball like Kobe Bryant said. You ain't going to win a championship like that. He's not a player. If you're looking to win a championship, there's no need to try to bring him in. If you got a young core, there's no need to bring him in to do what he does. So basically what I'm saying is I just don't see him as a winner type player. His best role to me was OKC. If he would have stayed there, maybe he would have eventually starting, but I liked him coming off the bench for them at the time. And hear me out. Think Manu Ginobili coming off the bench, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, that level of a bench player. Not like just, I'm saying he's just a spark off the bench. No, I'm talking about someone critical in your championship runs. That type of off the bench player. I still liked him in that capacity, to be honest with you, because he hadn't finished growing. And that's a guy that could give you 20 a night, so I ain't diminishing nothing about him. I'm just saying I liked him in that role. But hey, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace.